Good day, everyone. Welcome to City and Guilds Math Skills 3850. Today we'll be prepping you for your exam. But remember, your exam is Monday, June 3rd. So it's good for you to pay attention and see if you can get as much concept in as possible. Before we begin the session, just a few information. I know you know it, but I'm going to remind you anyway. So City and Guilds offers a stage approach, and you know that stage 1, 2, and 3. Whatever stage you're sitting, this is going to be beneficial for you. Now remember, there is certification in all 3 stages, and it doesn't matter if you did 1, you can approach to do 2, or if you want, you can do 3. So please remember. All right, so the objectives for this session are: 1, we are going to review concepts in math skills. We want to kind of help you understand how to approach your exam questions, and definitely how to make reasonable selections. All right, so we're getting right into it. First question: which of the following statements is true? So you need to ask yourself, what are some of the things that you're seeing here? So we have a few questions that we want you to look at. What is a multiple? Because the first option says 3 is a multiple of 9. Do you know what a multiple is? If you don't, you need to go find out. What is an integer? What are prime numbers? And what is a factor? So these terms, if you don't know them, it's going to be a little difficult for you to approach this question. But I know you guys have been studying and you know these. But just in case you don't, let's do a little review. Multiples. A multiple is a number which can be divided by another number without a remainder. So it goes into the number evenly. Nothing is left over. So 32 divided by 4 gives us 8. That means 32 is a multiple of 4. It also means, Yes, I am a multiple. Right, so 32 is a multiple of 4, and 32 is also a multiple of 8. All right, so that's multiple. Factors. A factor is a number that will divide into another number without a remainder. So here we are looking again at the 32 divided by 4, but we're looking at factors now. So 4 is a factor of 32, although 32 is a multiple of 4. Awesome. All right, what's the next thing? Prime numbers. Prime numbers are natural numbers greater than 1 with no divisor other than 1 and itself. So here we have some numbers. Here we have 1 through to 10. And the ones that are shaded are prime numbers. 2 is the first prime. It has only 2 factors. 3 can only be divided by 1, and there you go. So once you understand that, you will definitely get the question right. Integers. Integers include all whole numbers and 0. And of course, we're talking about negative and positive whole numbers. Okay? So now that we got this out of the way, let's go answer the question. So if you were to choose the correct response, would it be that 3 is a multiple of 9? Can 3 be a multiple of 9? Because multiples are normally what? Larger than the number itself. So we know that's not true. 3 is not an integer. 3 is an integer. There you go. 9 is a prime number. Is 9 a prime number? Why is 9 not a prime number? Okay, and 9 can be divided by 1, 3, and 9. So it's not a prime. Awesome. So the correct response is D. So, yes. So D is correct. All right? Awesome job. Let's move to the next question. Which of the following sets of numbers contains all factors of 20? We know what factors are, right? Factors are a number that we can divide into another evenly. We get even groups, all right? So what is the first factor of all numbers? 1. So looking at this, we talk about reasonable selection. Which two options you would just not even look at?
A and B.
A and D. A and D is out, right? So we are now focusing on good. So please remember, as you do your exam, when you approach a question, look and see what you can rule out, because it's just not right. You can clearly see it's not correct, and then you move. So let's examine, what's that? B and C. All right. Which one? And why? B. Let's just look at B. So we have 1. We know that 1 can be divided into 20. 2, 4, 5, 10, 20. But you also want to make sure you check C, just to see. What's the first thing there that would throw you off? The 3. 20 is not divisible by 3. Therefore, you are correct. The correct answer is option B. All right? So you're down 2 questions out of your paper. You have 58 more to go. All right. So we're at question 3. What is 4 raised to the 3rd power? Okay, first thing we want to ask, what does 4 raised to the 3rd power mean?
It's 4 times 4 times 4.
Awesome. So it means we are multiplying the base number by itself 3 times. Excellent. So all we need to do is pretty much do the multiplication. 4 times 4 is? Awesome. And 16 times 4 is? So the correct response is D. Awesome stuff. Now we're moving to question 4. Now, if you've ever engaged with the City and Guilds paper before, the objectives, all things that you have done in your class will be assessed. You will have an item on your paper that assess that concept. So the setup that you're seeing is pretty much what you're going to see on the day of the exam. And remember, what's that date again? June 3rd. At what time?
1 p.m.
Awesome. So question 4 will look similar. Not the same, but look similar to this question. All right, so what is this asking? It says, what is the square root of 121 equals? All right, what if you're not so sure about square roots? What if you're not really sure what the square root means? You're out of luck, So you need to go find out what square root means, right? But if you do know what square root means, we want to benchmark. Everyone should know by now that that sign means square root, and excuse me, the square root of 121, that's what we want to find out. What that says. What number, when multiplied by itself, will give us 121? 11. Why did you choose 11?
Because 11 times 11 is 121.
Yeah, that's correct. So if you know it, you just know it, and that's correct. However, if you didn't know it, everyone should know that 12 times 12 is 144. We've been using that for years now, right? So we know the square of 12 is 144. And 121 is less than 144. So the other 2 options are totally out, right? So therefore, A is the correct response. Awesome. Thank you, Everton. All right, so we're here at question 5. What is 630,000 written in standard form? Now, standard form is a topic that a lot of persons probably shy away from, but let us just look at standard form quickly. So, how do we convert to standard form? We move the decimal point. We're really dividing and multiplying by 10, but because we work in the base 10 system, we can pretty much play around and say we move the decimal point. But we're really dividing or multiplying by 10, okay? So for what you call it now, quick remembering, we were going to use move the decimal point until there is 1 digit to the left of the decimal point. Anyone remember the number that we're working with? Tell me the number. 630,000. So we want decimal point to come right here, right? All right, so we're going to move the decimal point. So where's the decimal point right now, though? Right here. The decimal point is there. So if we divide by 10, it gives us this. Divide by 100 gives us this. Divide by 1,000, there. divide by 10,000, and divide by 100,000. It gives us that. All right? So it's 1 10, 2, 3, 4, 5 tenths. So it is 6.3. And now, in order for me to get back what I started with, since I divided to get this, what's the opposite of division? So I'm going to have to multiply to get back what I started with. So let us look at this. It says if, with the decimal point, moves to the left, what do? The exponent goes up. So you have that positive exponent there. If the decimal point moves to the right, the exponent goes down. So it gives you a negative one. All right? So what we're saying, if the number is large and you have to make it smaller to get it back, you have to multiply by a positive exponent. If the number is small and you move it to a larger number, because this number here is what we started with, this is what you got. 5.3 is larger than this. So you change a very tiny number to a larger number. You multiply by a negative exponent. And if you remember, a negative exponent really means you're dividing by it. Okay? So we're dividing by powers of 10. We would divide by 10 to the 5th power, which the opposite of division, to get back our answer, we'd multiply by 10 to the 5th power. So our correct response is A. Remember, as you do your exam, make sure you fill out the answer sheet. You are free to write on your question paper. You will see on it, space for rough work. Don't try to do everything in your head. Work it out on the paper in front of you. Okay? All right, so we're on to question 6. What is 3.2 multiplied by 10 to the 3rd power, written as an integer? All right, so we just did the opposite of this. All right, so let us see what 10 to the 3rd power is. Who can tell me what 10 to the 3rd power is?
This is 3
So we're multiplying 10 by itself 3 times. 10 times 10 is 100, and 100 times 10 is 1,000. So 10 to the 3rd is, how did I do that? 3rd should be another place. All right. Okay, good. So if I were to raise the third, don't pay any attention to the exponent there. It should be 3.2 multiplied by 10, which gives me 32. Then 32 multiplied by 10 gives me 320. And 320 multiplied by 10 gives me? So pretty much what I did was break up this multiplication there into 3 stages. So what's your correct response? D, which is there. All right. Are we good? Excellent. So let us move on. We are at number 7. On one night in England, the temperature outside was negative degrees Celsius. What does negative degrees mean? Is it hot or cold?
Cold.
Extremely cold. What happens at 0 degrees temperature? Freezing. Water freezes at 0 degrees temperature. So if the temperature hits below 0, you know it's cold. Right. Just the water then, and not you, because you have a lot of stuff in your body, so you're not going to freeze. All right, great. So, what does the term, so the question is asking, so the temperature inside is 23 degrees Celsius. Outside is negative 3 degrees. What is the difference in temperature? When you hear the term difference, what are you talking about? Subtraction. Excellent. So we are going to subtract. The temperature inside is 23 and the temperature outside is negative 3. So it is 23 subtract negative 3. And if you know anything about negative and positive numbers, when 2 negatives go walking, what happens? They become positive. So it becomes 23 plus 3, which gives us 26. All right, great. And if you want to look at it, I'm just going to give you a little sketch. If you have a thermometer, this is my thermometer, and down here is the alcohol, because mercury is poisonous, so we're not using mercury. And we have our 0 line, so this is 0 degrees Celsius, and I am negative 3. right? I'm at negative 3 degrees. And I'm at 23 degrees here. Good. To get from 3 to 0, how many Celsius would I have to move? Let's go again. So I'm at 3. 2 would come there. 1 would come there. Let's see. So you can count with me. I'm 3 and I'm going to 2. No, you have to count 1. So from 3 degrees to 0, how many movements did I make?
3.
And if I'm at 0 and I make it to 23, how many movements I made? So 23 movements up top and 3 at the bottom. All right? All right. So the difference, so between here, so I'd go 3 and I'd go 23, so I'd have to add them. So this would give me 26 moves that I'd have to make. There's a difference of 23 degrees between negative 3 and 23. All right. Awesome. All right. So our option is D. So we're now at question 8. So now question 8. What is 18 written as a binary number? Who remembers what binary means? Binary means base 2. All right? So we have a base 10 number, which is 18, because the digit 8 cannot appear in any other base except base 10. Because base 2 numbers are written, as you see, options A to D, only with 1s and 0s. So now we are at 18, and we want to figure out what is the base 2 number. All right, so I'm going to do it 2 ways. I'm going to do it like this, and I'm going to show you another way. All right, so 2 into 18 goes 9 times. What is left? Remainder 0. 2 into 9, 4 times. Remainder 1. 2 into 4, 2 times. Remainder 2 into 2. Remainder 2 into 1. Hold on. Did I leave something out? 2 into 2. 2 into 4, 2, 2 into 2, 1. Oh, that's what went on. What's the remainder here? So 2 goes into 2 1 time. Remainder, I'm correct. And then 2 into 1, 0 times remainder. Yeah, that's right. All right. So what's the number? When we're doing the number, we call the number from the bottom up. Tell me the number.
120.
No, we can't say 100, and it's a base 2. So you have to call each digit. 1, 0, 0, 1. Do we see that over there? All right, let's check that now. So one of the things we want to pay attention to, in the base 10 number, we have what we call our place values. So in base 10, our place values are, what's your first place value? 1s. 1s is indicated by 0 to the 10th, to the 0 power. Then we have our 10s place, 0 to 1. Then we have our, so I'm going to put 10s. Then our hundreds. Then our 1,000, right? What comes after 1,000? 10,000. All right, so I have 0 to, any number raised to 0 is 1. So that's the first information. Hold it in your head, know it, keep it solid in your brain. Any number raised to 0 is? 1. Excellent. So 10 to the 0 power is the 1's place. 10 to the 1 place, 10's place. What do you think comes next? 10 to what? Second power. Then 10 to the? 10 to the? Great. So this is our base 10 system. So the base is 10. What do you think happens in our base 2 system? Our base is 2. So the first place is 2 to the 0 power. You see it right there? So the value of this is 1, the value of this is 10, the value of this is 100. Because 10 multiplied by nothing is 10. And here, or 10 multiplied by 1, if you want to go there, it's still 10. This 10 multiplied by 10 gives you 100. 10 multiplied by 10 by 10, it gives you 1,000. And 10 multiplied by itself 4 times gives us 10,000. Hence, the place is 10,000. Good. So the base 2, 2 to the 0 power, is 1. That's the first place. The next one is 2 to the 1th power, or 2 to the 1st power, which gives us 2. 2 to the 2nd power gives us 2 times 2, which is 4. 3rd power, and you get it. Right. So this is the value of each digit in the number. So let's write in the digit. What's the number again? 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. How many 1 do we have in this number? Look good. 0. How many 2s?
0.
What digit is this? 1. So we have a 2, right? Do we have any 4? 8? What about 16? So 16 plus 2 is what? So is the number correct? It is. So let us show it on the screen now for everyone else to see. So once you understand, so what I did on the other hand, because I was trying to show you another way, is to look at the individual numbers after I established the place value. So I looked at 1001 and tried to figure out what the value was. So 1001, the first one is 1 plus 0, 0, because I have none of them. And then the last one, this one, is in the 8th place. So 8 plus 1, I can't add. 8 plus 1 is what? 9. So that cannot be 10. So it's 9. So this, the value of this is 9. And then the value of the second one, let's hope I'm right. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 1? I got that one right. Thank God. And then this one, which we would have worked out a while ago, 16 plus 2 gives us 18. Good. So what they're asking you to do is to just convert our base 10 number to base 2. All right. So let's clean this board and we will solve the following question. So it says solve 1 plus 0.5 plus 0.06 minus or subtract 0.3. Another way we could call those numbers is say 1 plus 5/10 plus 600th plus 3, subtract 3/10, because that's the place that each digit occupies. But here we go. So pretty much the key to this, remember, you are not allowed to use a calculator in your exams. Please do not practice at home using the calculator because it won't help you. So you need to practice using your brain. It works. God gave you a working brain. Let's look at it. So the important thing, I know you're not accustomed to seeing the addition sign on the right, but it doesn't change anything. I wanted the numbers to line up properly. The decimal points must line up, and the first place to the right of it must line up, and so on. Okay? So if you line it up properly, you can't go wrong. You will get it correct if you line it up properly, and definitely if you can add. So 6 plus 0 is 6, 5 plus 0 is 5, 1 plus 0 is 1. So when you add all those three values, you get 1.56 or 1 and 5600th. Okay? Then you're asked to subtract 0.3. The 3 does not go below the 6, it goes below the 5 because it's really 0.30. All right? And you do the subtraction, which will give us what? 1 point. Okay, that's what you said. I know that's what you said. So our correct option is D. So D is the correct option there. All right. So you see that you're going to pass the exam, right? Yeah, man. Question 10. A customer has $233.21 in his bank account. He pays $78.90. What does he pays mean? What does that mean?
You paid something out of your bank account?
Oh. And he transfers, could be, he pays $78. Pays it to who? Could be. But let's see. And he transfers $55.75 to a friend. How much money will be left in the account? So when I looked at this question, I don't know, he pays in. That's the word, because I was saying he pays in. So it's not just he pays in. So what does that tell us if he pays in?
He's adding to the bank.
Very good. Because that's what I got from the question. And I was wondering why you got the other one, but I didn't read in. So he pays in. So that means we're adding $78.90 to what he already has in the bank. All right? And as I said to you before, once we line up, I'm only doing this first one. Once we line up all our digits correctly, there is no need for us to get it incorrect. So we're adding 0 plus 1, 9 plus 2,
11.
and we regroup over there. 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 plus 3, regroup again, 7 plus 3, and 1, and we regroup, 2 and 1. So in his account, he should have $312.11. Good? All right. Then now he says he transfers $55.75 to a friend. So a transfer will do what? Will decrease his bank account statement or his bank account balance. So he has to take it away. When you take it away, you get, let's do it together, just to make sure that I did the correct thing. Because anyone can make a mistake, but it's always good to just check over to ensure that you did the correct thing. What am I subtracting again? And 75 cents. So I can't do that. All right. So I'm going to need to regroup some stuff. So I'm going to take one of my $1 and pretty much break it up into $10, 10 cents. I get 10 of them. I want one of it. And then I break up one of my 10 cents into, it's pretty much 1 cent over there. All right, so now 10 take away 5, 9 take away 7. I'm still in trouble. The 1 take away 5, I just can't do that. So we're going to regroup again. I have 0 left here. And I pretty much, I'm going to add the 10 to this, right? 10 plus 1 is what?
11.
11. Take away 5.
6.
And I'm still in the same problem. So I'm going to regroup again. So now I have 10 again. 10 take away 5.
5.
And 2 take away nothing. All right. It's incorrect? What's wrong?
Should I start from the tree? Because there's no 256.26 on the board regarding to that answer.
Oh.
Should be C.
Huh?
The correct answer should be C.
Well, what you said why it's wrong?
Because there is no 256.
That is not why it's wrong. Why it's wrong?
It's incorrect.
Because we did something wrong. What did we do wrong?
So should have started from the middle. So should I start from the English, or from the English and carry from the top?
Should have borrowed from the
Cancel.
3.
Guys, 10 plus 1 is what?
That's 6.
11 take away 5 is that. All right, let's go again. What else is wrong?
That 9 should have been 10 years.
This 9 should have been 10. 10 plus 1 is what?
11.
11. So when I put the 10 here, I did not account for this 1. So 10 plus 1 is 11. 11 take away 7. But I took 1 from it. So it should have been 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 take away 7 is?
3.
Good. But your answer cannot be because the answer is not on the board. There's an error. There is an error because we did the calculation wrong. So we have to end up going back to the calculation to see where we went wrong. I did not use these ones that were already there. I treated them like they were zeros. All right? So the answer is?
256 and 36 cents.
All right. So we learned 2 things. If you do a calculation and there's no option there, what is the smartest thing to do? Go back. Don't just pick one that close. Go back and try to figure out where you made the error. That's one. And you can also look at your options as a guide to see what your answer pretty much should look like. Okay? So that's two things that you can take away from it. All right, awesome. So the correct response is C. And the calculation that was done was off because I overlooked the 0.11 cents or the 11 cents, since it's money we're talking about. We're at question 11. What is 69 multiplied by 3.07? All right. What is 7 times 9? Let's say we don't know. All right, but let's say we don't know. Can we do anything? We can decompose this to give us 3 and 4. 3 plus 3 gives us 7, right? What is 3 times 9? 27. What is 4 times 9? 36. So let's add these two. What's the answer? 6 plus 6 is what? 30. 6 plus 7 is 13. 3 plus 2 is 5 and 1 is? So you are correct. It is 63. But just in case you are unaware of how to multiply 7 times 9, you can break down either of the number, the 9 or the 7, and add it. All right? So this is 63. 7 times 6. Let's do it again. So we have 7 times 6. We can decompose this into what? 3 plus 3. 3 sevens is?
21.
And 21, so the answer is? So 7 sixes, 42 plus 6.
48.
All right. We are going to use a 0 because we want to make sure you do the right thing. So 0 times 9, 0. We started in this place and we've moved one place over, so we have to account for the place that we've moved over. All right? So 0 times that, give me 0. Now 3 times 9. You should know this by now. 27. So we're 1, 2 places would have passed. 27. 3 times 6, 18 plus 2, 3 plus 0, 8 plus 0, 4 plus 7, 1 plus 0, and that. How many places of decimals should we have in our answer? That's key. So whenever we multiply by a decimal, the amount of places we have here must reflect here. Good. So your answer is 211 and 83 cents. All right, so we're multiplying and our answer is option B. Well, thank you so very much for being keen students at this time. But we are going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. So we are now going to finish up some more questions on the City and Guilds math skills. All right, so we're at question 12. A bottle of medicine holds 20 cl. What is that? Centiliters. How many 0.5 centiliters measures of medicine is this? What is it asking us for?
It's how many 0.5 liters measuring the
Centiliters we can get out of? Sounds great. So what operation do you think we're going to carry out here? Division. We are definitely going to divide. So we want to divide 20 by 0.5. How many you can divide by a decimal? Well, it's kind of weird, don't it? All right, so we are going to make we're going to change this. No, I think I'm going to change this to a whole number. So I'm going to multiply throughout by 10. If I multiply throughout by 10, the proportion is the same, but the numbers are easier for me to work with. So 20 multiplied by 10. 20 multiplied by 10 gives me 200. And I'm multiplying 0.5 by 10, which gives me 5. 0.5 multiplied by 10 gives me 0.5. All right? So now this looks easier for me to divide. So 5 divided into 200. So 5 goes into 2 how many times? Okay, good. 5 goes into 20 how many times? 4. 5 goes into 0? So my correct response is C, which is 40. So we can get 40 0.5 centiliters out of 20 centiliters. All right, we're off to question 13. Question 13 says, so we're multiplying again. So as you can see, you're going to have to multiply with decimals. All right? Now, you don't even have to set this up because you should know what 4 times 6 is, which is what? 24. And you see the other digits are 0. Now, as I told you before, the number of decimal places that you see in the option, in your question, tells you how many places you should have in your answer. Now, all the answers are pretty much similar, same digits. So you don't have to stress yourself with this. It's going to be something with 2, 4 in it. How many places should we have in our answer?
3.
Look again. So we have 1 in the 0.6 and we have 2 in the 0.06. So which option has 3 decimal places? So your answer is D. All right? So you apply the skill of multiplication, but you also made a reasonable. So you can multiply, but I'm thinking that you don't have to here. You can pretty much look at what's there and make a very good selection. So the correct response is D. All right. So remember, I know some of you do not know your multiplication tables, and it's not all that good, but just in case you don't know it, what we can do is decompose our numbers and use the smaller multiplication tables to access the question. Do not let anything stop you from working out your questions on your exam on June 3rd. Number 14, find the total cost of 1.5 kilogram of tomatoes at $4.68 per kilogram. What does that mean at $4.68?
1.5 kg of tomatoes.
Let's look again. It says $4.68 per kilogram. So how many kilograms we're buying? 1.5. What's a fraction for 0.5?
0.3.
But yeah, so the decimal fraction is 0.5. What's the fraction that represents 0.5?
0.5.
Yeah. All right, let's try that again. 0.5. So this is a whole. This is one whole. What is half of this? All right, let's go with a whole number. What's half of that? 5. So if we have 1.0, what's half of this? 0.5. So 0.5 is the same as? There you go. So we're buying 1.5 kilogram of tomatoes. Now, 1.5 kilogram of tomatoes at the cost of $4.68. So 1 kilogram cost $4.68. What's half of $4.68?
$2.34.
There you go. So 1 kilogram price, half kilogram price. So in order to get the 1.5 kilogram, we're going to add the $4.68 to the $2.34, which gives us $7.02. Are we finished? What else we need to do?
The price is 0.75 kg of grapes.
All right. So 0.75 kilograms of grape at $18.60. So let's look at that. Are we buying more or less than 1 kilogram? Less than 1. Now, there are some fractions, decimal fractions and regular fractions that you should know. So, for instance, you should know what a quarter is and how to write a quarter as a decimal. How do you write a quarter as a decimal?
2.5.
How do we write? This 2 quarters can be written as what? Simplify this. 22 goes, 24 goes. So 2 quarters is the same as half, which is, these are fractions that you should know. Now, if this is a quarter and this is a half, 3 quarters is the same as a half plus a quarter. Because a half is the same as, we established that, right? So 3 quarters is pretty much 2 quarters plus a quarter. So a half is 0.5 plus, what's the total there? Let's add it together.
0.75.
Yes, because I want to know what number you are looking at. Why you are telling me that. So a quarter is the same as 0.75. So if we're buying, sorry, did I say a quarter? Guys, you're supposed to correct me now. 3 quarters is the same as 0.75. So we're pretty much buying 3 quarters of a kilogram. So we really want to find out what is 3 quarters of $8.60. Okay? Now, if you don't like working with fraction, you can reason it out. What is half of that? So I'm taking this off. What is half of $18.60? Half of 18 is 9. Half of 60 is 30. So this is half kilogram. How do you find a quarter? You half the half. So what is half of $9? Half of $8 is $4. So half of $9 must be more than $4. $4.50. Good. But we have 30 cents to half the 30. Where you get? So we have $4.50 plus half of this, which is 15, which gives us, all right, so quarter of the kilogram will be $4.65. So now to find 3 quarters, I'm going to add the cost from a half and add the cost from a quarter. So let's do that. $9.30 plus $4.65. Pay attention to line up your numbers, your decimal points in line, and all your digits in the correct place. So 5 and 0 is 5, 6 and 3. Make sure I'm calling the right numbers in, because you know me. 6 and 3 is 9, and 9 plus 4 is 13. So what happened? Why am I seeing the answer over there?
Because
You should add the tomatoes.
That's what they said? Okay, so it says find the total cost. Good. So now we're going to add $7.02. 5 and 2, 9 and 0, 3 and 7, 1 and 1. So we got $20.97. And that would give us Option C. Awesome. So some things to note. Pay attention to what the question is asking you. That's the first question. What is the question asking? Pay attention to how you add and subtract. Pay attention to how you can simplify it. Now, you could have multiplied 1.5 by $4.68. But not a lot of you like multiplication. So I like to reason it out with you. So 1.5 kilogram at a particular price, I can know half what the kilogram cost and add it to it. All right? So pay attention to those little things as you approach your question paper so that you don't get too flustered as you are doing the paper. All right? So we're at question 15. It says a customer buys 2 packs of spice buns that cost $4.40 each. How many buns did they buy?
4.
How many buns?
2.
And 1 jar of coffee that costs, how much does a coffee cost? $9.44. How much change should the customer get from $20? What do we need to do first? Think first. I want you to think before you answer. Same way on the question paper.
This
Items
add,
together, and then you're subtracting from the 20.
this add this times $4.40 by 2.
Good.
And then add the both of them and then subtract it from
Good. You see how I write it? We multiply, we add, and then we subtract. So we have to figure out what's the cost of the two buns. Now you don't have to multiply. What's another way we could do it? You can add both of them. So $4.40 added together will give you what? $8.80 is the cost of the bun. All right, so this is the bun price. Then what else? We have 1 jar of coffee, which is $9.44. 4 and 0, 4. 8 plus 4, 12. 9 plus 1 is 10, and 8 is? That look right? Hope so. How much money we spending?
$18.
Well, clearly, no, this is not in Jamaica because we can't buy nothing but $20. So this is clearly some English pound that we're using right here. Good. So $20 subtract $18.24. Subtraction. We are going to regroup. So we are going to take it straight across. We have to regroup because we have nothing there. Let's see now. 10 plus 0 is?
10 minus
10 plus 0 is what?
10.
Good, good. So we have 10 here, right? 10 take away 4. 9 plus 0 is? 9 take away 2. Good. I'm making sure I account for my digits, you know. 9 subtract 8. 1 subtract 1. Okay. This look like it, right? So from $20 after buying 2 buns and 1 jar of coffee, we will have $1.76. Oops, did I go there? $1.76 left. All right, are we all clear? So we're at our favorite part. Everybody just love fractions. Everybody loves fractions, don't it? So we are definitely going to enjoy this session. And let me just tell you from now, there are several questions on the paper that has to do with fractions. So you have to learn it. You have to do them. So let's do them together. It says solve 2 and 5/6 plus 1 and a quarter. All right. So what's the first thing you think we should do? If you know anything about fraction, add them. You could. Because we're adding, we can add the whole numbers. So 1 plus 2 gives us 3. So we need to figure out what the fraction is. So we can take the fractions out now and add them. We can definitely do it like that. Can we just add it as is? No. We can't. This whole is cut up into 6 parts. This whole is cut up into 4 parts. It's not possible for we add things. It's like you have 2 different pizza. One pizza cut up in 6 parts, one pizza cut up in 4 parts. The sizes are not the same. So we have to find a way to represent both fractions from the same whole. And we do that by finding the lowest common multiple. Let's listen to the word again. The lowest common multiple. A multiple is going to be larger than 6 and larger than 4. So what number can 6 go into and 4 can also go into that number? 12. When in doubt, multiply them. Okay? When in doubt, you say 6 times 4 because the must can go into the number that you get. All right, good. So 6 into 12 goes 2 times. So that means for me to get this 6 to turn to 12, I'm going to cut up all of the 6 parts into 2s. 6 times 2 is 12. So if I do that to the parts, to the whole, I'm clearly going to have to multiply this by 2 to tell me now that the 5 parts that I have now becomes 10 parts. Add in 4 into 12, 3. So I'm going to do the same thing. 3 times 4 is 12. So I have to now cut up the parts that I have into 3s. Give me 3. 10 plus 3?
13.
What kind of fraction is this? Improper. Great. It is an improper fraction because the numerator is larger than the denominator. Awesome. So we have 3 and 13 12. You see an answer like that over there? What are we going to do? Something is wrong. Do we normally write 3 wholes and then 13 12s? No. This improper fraction will have to change to a mixed number. How many 12s can I get from 13?
1.
Good. So I'm going to put my 3 plus my 13 12, and I'm going to rewrite this. So I can get 1 whole. What is left after I take out 12? 1 is left from the 13. And my fraction remains in the 12ths. So I'm going to add 1 and 1/12 to 3, which gives me what?
4.
4 and...
1.
Anybody see that over there? So your option for this question would be option C. Are we good? All right. Question 17. Fraction again. Look at that. Pay attention, because wherever you see the fraction on this paper, you're going to see it on your paper. All right. So solve 2 and 3/8. Subtract 1 and 1/3. Do you think we should subtract the whole numbers? You think so? All right.
No, miss.
Why you don't think it's such a wise idea? Let's look at the fractions. 3/8, 1/3. We're not sure which one is bigger, don't it? Are you sure if 3/8 is large enough to subtract 1/3? It could be, but you're not sure. You could kind of guess it. When it's subtraction, I wouldn't advise to just take away the whole numbers. I would advise to keep the whole numbers in the calculation. So we're going to change this mixed number to an improper fraction. How do we do that?
Multiply the denominator times over the
Good.
numerator.
Why? Because these 2 wholes mean that each of those wholes have 8 parts. So we have 2 of them. 2 times 8 gives us 16 plus 3.
19.
So 19 eighths. Subtract 3 times 1
3.
plus 1.
4.
4 quarters. 4/3. 4/3. Now the same problem lies. We have 2 fractions in different wholes. 3 and 8 and 3. What's the lowest multiple, common multiple of the 24? 18?
24.
8 can go into 18?
Yes.
Mm?
No,
9,
no.
2 nines, 18. I don't really know which one you multiply.
24 is
Okay.
3 is 24.
All right. We'll go with 24. So when in doubt, remember what I said? Multiply both of them. So 18 to 24 goes clearly. Good. So we're going to multiply that by 3. Now we have a problem again because you don't like multiplication. So we're going to put it to the side. 19 multiplied by 3. That might be hard for some of you. Shouldn't be. 3 nines is?
So it's a 57.
3 nines is?
27.
3 ones, 3 and 2.
5.
That look right?
Yes, miss.
You sure? All right. And then we have 3 into 24 goes 8 times. 8 fours.
8 times
8 times 4 is 8?
Yes, miss. 8 times
Where you get 8 times 8, sir?
No, she said 8 times
Mr. 8 times 8? Anything possible, I might. So 8 multiplied by 4 gives me 32. Good. So let's subtract now. And it's okay. You don't have to try to rock your brain. I'm going to go over here. 57 subtract 32. 7 take away 2.
25.
5. All right. So you get 25 24s. So you go on. Take time to ask so we can get it, you know. All right. So we are going to go 24 into 25 goes 1 time. And 1 is left. 24. And that will give us option A. All right. We are here again where we are going to take a short break. Welcome back to City and Guilds Math Skills 3850. And we are at number 18. Let's begin. And of course, it's your favorite type of question, fractions. Let's go ahead. So we have 4 and 5/2 subtract 3 1/2. So we just did a question not too long, and I encouraged you, when you see the subtraction, change your mixed numbers to improper fractions. Good. So we have 4 and 2/5 subtract 3 1/2. So 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 2, 22 fifths. Subtract 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1, 7 halves. All right? Good. I won't badger you too much, but there's a correct way to call our fractions. And you hear me shouting at you. Okay, good. So we're subtracting. The same problem lies. This fraction is cut into fifths. This one is cut into halves. We cannot operate with them different. So we have to find equivalent fractions where they're both cut in the same number. What is common? What's a common multiple? Not a factor. A factor goes in. And do these have factors? What are the factors for this?
It's 1 and 2.
Good. So what kind of number is this? Yes, it's a prime number. And this is also a? Awesome stuff. So you see that's integration of content, you know. Good. So 5 and 2, the common multiple is 10. Awesome. 5 divided into 10 goes 2 times. 2 times 22, 44. Subtract 2 into 10 goes 5 times 7. Awesome stuff. And as I said, nobody can stop you from write up your paper, put it over there and do the subtraction. 4 take away 5, it's not possible. So 14 take away 5. And 3 take away 3. So the answer is 9/10. All right, we see that? That was easy. We got that. All right, here we go again. Your favorite, fractions. So this one, it's asking you to solve by multiplication. All right. So we have 3 and 1/8 multiplied by 2 and 2/3. Same process. I'm going to take them to mixed numbers. 8 times 3, 24. 24 plus 1, 25 eighths. Multiply by 3 times 2. 6 plus 2. 8 thirds. And this one, we do not need the least common multiple, because we're multiplying. You're going to stay on the ground. We're multiplying. So, we can factorize though. We can look for common factors from the denominators and the numerator. What's a common factor here? 8. 8 goes into itself one time. One time, you get what? 25 thirds. Right? And that's an improper fraction, so let's make it a mixed number. 3 into 25 goes? Excellent, because we just did 8 times 3 is 24. Awesome. 8. When you take out 24 of 25, what's left? 1. So it's 8 and?
1/3.
1/3. Awesome. All right. And that question is out of the way. We're on our way. We're 20 questions up now, you know. So let us go to number 20. Number 20 is asking us to divide. So if you are paying attention so far, you are going to have to subtract with fractions. You're going to have to do subtraction with fractions, addition with fraction, multiplication with fraction, and division with fraction. All right. So let us look. So we have 3 and 1/5. Pay attention to how I write my 3 big, so I don't make any mistake to think it's close to the 1 or with the 5. So it's 3 wholes and 1/5 divided by half. What's the first thing we want to do? Excellent. See, you guys, you must pass. 5 times 3 is plus 1. So we have 16/5 divided by half. I didn't have to write back this stage, but because we want to make sure that we stay right, I wrote it back. What do you know about when you're multiplying by a fraction, dividing by a fraction? We can change it because division is the opposite of multiplication. But if we are dividing by a half, we have to do the opposite of dividing by a half. We have to multiply by 2. All right. So let's put 16/5 multiply by 2. Yes, can do that. So anything that's common between a numerator and a denominator, is there any factors there that we can simplify? No. 5 and 2 have nothing in common. So we're going to multiply straight across. 2 times 16. And if, good job, it's 32. But if you don't know, you go back over here, sir, and you do this. 6 and 6, 12, and you do that. All right, good. Do not let anything cripple you in the exam or slow you down or stop you, make you feel like you can't do it. You can always do it. Your pace don't have to be my pace. All right, good. 32, 5 times 1. So we have an improper fraction. We want to make it a mixed number because you don't see nothing over there looking like that. 5 goes into 32 how many times? 6, because 6 5s is 30. So we get 6 2/5. And our correct option is option C. Awesome. I know you thought fraction was hard, but now that you've really engaged with fraction, is fraction hard? It's quite easy. I don't know what's wrong with these people. It's quite easy. All right, so we're going to question 21, which is also another fraction. And we're asked to solve 1 3/7 multiplied by 2/3. We're going to just go right into it. 7 times 1 is, plus 3 is, 10 7s multiplied by 2/3. Awesome stuff. We look at the numerator, we look at the denominator, no common factors, we just multiply. 2 times 10? 3 times 7?
21.
Can I tell you how I almost call a different number? All right. That is it. There's no common factor with 20 and 21. So we can't simplify it. So the correct response is? There you go. All right. And we move to number 22, which is also a fraction. What is happening here? It's a combination of operations. You're asked to multiply and then subtract. Why can't we subtract first? Because the order of operations states that multiplication comes before. Excellent. So remember that, students. The order of operation states that we must multiply before we subtract. All right, let's continue. So 3/4 multiply by a half, subtract. What I tend to do is to write the entire thing off the paper because I don't want to go and work and I'd forget to write this and I finish right, I think I done. No. You write the entire thing, you work out what you're working. So I'm going to take this out and work it out. So 3/4 multiply by a half. Examine it. Any factors? No. So you can do one of two things. You can continue working downward, so you keep on carrying the quarter with you. You hear? So here I can just take it down this way. So 3 times 1 is 4 times 2. So 3/8. I still put back my quarter. I have forgotten nothing. I am subtracting. I have some pieces that are cut in 8s, some pieces that are cut in quarters. Cannot happen. I need to figure out equivalent fractions cut in the same whole. 8 and 4. This is an easy one. What's the lowest common multiple?
8.
Excellent. Since this is already in 8, do I need to do anything? I put back my 3. Subtract. 4 divided into 8 goes? 2 times. So that means I have to cut up each part into 2. So I must do it to the top. To the part that's out. 2 times 1 is? 2. All right. So what we're saying, a quarter is the same as? Call the fraction. 2?
8.
There you go. I like it. Good job. 3 take away 2?
1.
So our correct response is A, 1/8. Good job. So we have done several things with fractions. We've added, we've subtracted, we've divided, we've multiplied. I know we've combined operation. You guys are stars. You're doing great. I look like I want to break down the board. All right. Let's not break down the board. All right, so we're moving into question 23. This looks like we get a break from fractions. All right, so we mastered fractions. We have survived. 23. This is a combination of operations again. We're asked to subtract and divide. What shall we do first? Excellent. Good. So multiplication and division must happen before subtraction and addition. Excellent stuff. I tell you, I keep on writing and I bring down. So I put by my 16, put by my subtraction. 8 divided by 2 gives me?
4.
Excellent. There's no way for me to mess up my work. 16 subtract 4. That's it. That's it. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Nothing difficult there. D is the correct response. Guys, you're pretty much on your way to, what's the highest one again? Huh? Distinction. You're on your way to distinction. All right? No less than that. No less than a merit. But I'd like to see all of you get distinctions. All right. So not only is math about computation, but mathematics is also about reasoning. So not everything in math you're going to have to add, divide, subtract. Sometimes you need to look at the logical way things should be done. Like this question. Let us read it together, or I'll read, you listen. A librarian draws this flowchart to show a new library assistant how to check out a book to a customer. The first thing is customer wants to take a book out. So the next question you should ask the customer, do you have a library card? If the customer answers yes, they do what? Check out the book. If the customer answers no, we're not sure. So let's see. No, there's a question asked. It says no, does the customer want to join the library? And it gives you some more information. The question is there again. The customer says no. If the customer answers yes, sorry, if I said no, that would be it. If it says yes, check the number and check out the book. So what you are expected to do is tell me which question fits here. Which of these questions? Let's check it. A says, has the customer got their library card? No. Does customer want another book? That makes sense? All right. Is there another customer? Let me tell them, come out of line. Does customer want to join the library? Is the customer a library member?
Yes, miss.
Good. So we ask the question, is the customer a library member? The next one is yes. We'll check that number, then they can check out the book. If the customer is not a member, do you want to join the library? And we carry on. So the correct response for this one is D. Is the customer a library member? So as I said before, math is about thinking logically. Okay? When you do math well, you reason well. All right, we are at question 25. This question says calculate 6% of 42,000. And we will take a break and get back to you. So work this out in the break. Welcome back to City and Guilds. I hope you have been paying attention to all the little tips that we have been giving you during the break. Let us get back to question 25. So we're doing a percentage question here. It says 6% of 42,000. That's correct? 42,000 is the correct number? Good. So how do we write percentage? What do you know about percent? Percent is out of? 100. So 6% is 6 out of 100. We're multiplying this by 42,000. We always try to simplify the work for us. Let's not stress ourselves. So we're going to factorize, simplify. 100 into 100 goes? And that is why sometimes people just cross out the 0 because the 1 is left. Understood. So we can do the very same thing here. We are dividing it by 100. Gives us 420. So now we are multiplying. All the time I tell you, don't try to stress yourself. We're multiplying by 6, right? 6 0 0 6 2s, 12, 6 4s, 24 plus 1, 25. So when we multiply 6 by 420, our answer is 2,520. Awesome. So our option, the correct response would be option A. All right. Here we are at our second question, still focusing on percentage. Let us read. A government statement says they will give 20%, give a 20% contribution towards some people's electricity bill. That's nice of the government. One person's electricity bill is, for 3 months, is $228. How much will this person receive? What do we need to do? Find out.
20%
Awesome. And we already established that 20% means 20 out of 100 of, when you hear the term of, we normally talk about multiplication of $228. All right. Is there any factor common to both numerator and denominator? Look good.
Yes, 100.
You know, see 20? 20 goes into itself how many times? 20 goes into 100 5 times. So, and remember, this can be written as that as well. So we're multiplying across 228 divided by 5. All right? So you can go here and you can write it out. If this makes you feel better, you can do that. 5 into 2, not possible. 5 into 22, 4. And 4 times 5 is 20, so 2 is left. 5 into 28, 5 fives is 25. So we realize that we have some left still. So 25 from 28, 3 is left. Put our decimal place in both places. 5 into 30. So the person will receive $45.60. Now, you have to know how to divide. All right? And your timetable, again, comes important here. When in doubt, if you're not sure, just go check it over here. So you say 5 plus 5, that is 10. You add another 5, that's 15. It'll take your time, you know. But check it. Okay? Good. So we move on to question 27. We are still doing percentages. 27 says calculate the interest of $9,000 on a $9,000 loan for 2 years at 3%. And what kind of interest are we looking at? Simple interest per annum. How often you get interest again? What does per annum mean? Per year, yes. So we get 3% on whatever we have. Oh, well, it's a loan. Whatever we owe them, there's an interest of 3% each year added. So what is 3% of 9,000? We are going to always simplify, factorize. 100 into itself one time, 100 into 9,000 goes 90 times. And we are just going to multiply now. 9 times 3 is 27, and we know that we had that there. So it's 90 times 3, which is 270. What is this figure? What does that figure represent?
This per annum
1 year. Right? It's simple, so that this means every year this is what is added. So how many years are we calculating for? 2 years. So that means we're going to have to either multiply this by 2 or we can add them. 0 and 0, 0, 7 and 7, 14, 2 and 2, 4 and 1. So for the 2 years, the interest that will occur or incur on the loan will be $540. I've gone too far, which is B, correct? Good. And we are now at question 28. And it is still a percentage. So I want you to pay attention. You can't evade the percentage topic, because there are several questions on your paper as it relates to percentage. So if you don't know it, go learn it. Go find a video somewhere. You can look up Tamika Lodge, City and Guilds, and you can see if she's teaching you anything about percentages, or you can go look up someone else, or you can take up a textbook. But go and learn percentage, because you're going to need to do it. Good. A machine has a principal cost of $400,000. Simple depreciation. What does the term depreciation mean?
It's the scrap value of
If I said to you, all right, so I have a car, but my goodness, I have driven this car really bad. The value of the car has depreciated. What that means? Decrease. So depreciation means to lose value. Right? So when it says the machine depreciates, it means that the value of the machine when it started out is going to go down. It's going to decrease as you use the term. So simple depreciation is applied at 25% per year. So another term for per year is per annum. Good. Same thing it means. What is the value of the machine after 2 years? Simple depreciation. Simple means that whatever the depreciation amount is each year, the same amount will come off. So what we need to find out is what is 25% of 400,000. I'm going to ask you a question here now. 25/100th. Can you look at it and see what is the simplest way we can write 25/100th? What is it? Let's look again. Listen to the question. 25/100th is a fraction. What is the simplest fraction I can write this as? Very good. If you listen to the question, you get it. Write it down. Everton, don't play with me. So you have 25/100th. We can simplify it. 25 into 25 goes? 25 into 100 goes? Good. So a quarter is the same. Quarter is the same as 25/100th. Good? So we have a quarter of this. Who can tell what's a quarter of 400,000? 100,000. You know this. Right? So we're going to divide 4 into this. And 4 into 4 goes 1 time. And 4 into 0 going to go clearly 0 time. You see, the questions are so easy, but if you're not sure of what they're asking, you don't get it. So 25% of 400,000 is 100,000. So for the first year, 100,000 come on. How many years, I'm saying? 2 years. So this is year 1. And now year 2 will be another 100,000, right? So 1 and 1 gives us. So we're going to subtract 200,000 from 400,000, which gives us. So your answer is B. Okay? 29. You see how many questions we have on percentages? All right. We just want you to pay attention. And the questions will change, as in the numbers may be different. The what you call it? I'm trying to find. Oh, what's the word? The scenario may be different, but the concept is going to be the same. You're going to use percentages to find a value of something. All right? So although the scenario may change, the concept remains. So what is 8% expressed as a decimal fraction? Right away, you all should know how to write 8%, which is? No, give me it as a fraction first. As a fractional representation. 8 out of?
10.
You know you could. No, you could not. 8 out of 10 is what? If you get 8 right out of 10 question, what is it? 80. So is 8% the same as 80%? So 8 cannot be, it has to be out of 100. Has to be out of 100. Now let us simplify this. Okay? So there's a little trick to it. They tell you that you can do this. Wherever you see the 1, you put your decimal. The digit that you have here must be at the last 0, and you fill it. It's a little trick that's out there. Right? It's what it is. I'm really not sure how to explain that right now, but you could also have simplified and say, I'm going to show you another way. So 2 into 8 goes, 2 into this goes 50. We can still simplify. 2 into this goes 2 into 4 goes 2. 2 into 50 goes 25. Right? And then we could divide the 2 by 25. It's a little longer, so let's not stress you with that. But you can definitely do this. Now, another thing that you can see is if you understand what 8% is, you can't write back the same 8. So remember I said this session we'll talk about reasonable selection. So A is out. 0.8, everyone in here should know that 0.8 is 80. Okay? So you must be guessing between C and D, but nothing else. Okay? And since 0.8 is 80, 0.08 is 8%. All right? So we have number 30. Yes, I have cut off a piece of that 3, but it's 3. All right? So what is 3/5 expressed as a decimal fraction? Same thing they just gave you, It's now that it's just not with the denominator being powers of 10. So we can't do what we just did. All right? So 3/5 as a decimal fraction. Look at the options there. You can guess?
D.
D? You guessed all right. You could be right. You could be wrong. All right. What do you know about a fraction, though? A fraction is an equal part of a whole. When you have 3.5, is that more than a whole or less than a whole? $3.50 is less than $1?
No, miss.
All right. So D is not the response because 3/5 is 3 out of 5 parts. You don't even have 1 part yet. Stop guessing, child. So we're going to divide 3 by 5. 3 into 5 divided into 3 goes?
0.
5 divided into 30.
6.
So 3/5 is the same as 0.6. And that's because 1/5 is really 0.2. 0.2. So 2/5 is that, 0.4. And 3/5, you add another 0.2. All right? It's not. All right? So so when you have a fraction and you want to change it into a decimal fraction, you divide the numerator by the denominator. All right? Okay, so we did up to question 30. And the next question, so the answer is B. We got that right? Yes. So the next question we have is looking at percentages again. Let us take a short break. Welcome back to City and Guilds Math 3850, and we are now at question 31. So just to let you remember, I'm jogging your memory, what we've done so far. So we have looked at fractions, we've looked at percentages, anything else? We've looked at types of numbers, good. We looked at some amount, we looked at a measurement question. Remember that 20 centiliter divided by 0.5 centiliter? So we have been doing a couple things, right? And we are going to continue. Some of the things that we need to remember. When is your exam? June 3rd. At what time? 1 p.m. Remember that. Put it in your phones. Put an alarm for the day before and an hour before the exam. You will do great. Another thing, multiplication is required. You need to know some of it. So at least to the 5th timetable, at least that will get you through. But in case you don't know, you can always decompose your numbers and get the multiplication done in bite sizes. All right? So let us look at the question that we have now. 31 says an order costs $400. A customer has a choice. of discount vouchers. They have a quarter off, 50% off, 20% off. Oh, no, it's not 50%. Listen, it's $50. $50 off. And then it has 1/3 off. Now, what can we compare there? What can we look at to rule out some things?
Which we can take off the 50 so we can press it.
Why do you think so? Why would you take off the $50?
It's because it,
You can compare the $50 with everything else?
Yes, miss.
Why? How? Because I see a fraction there and I see a fraction. I would compare the fractions first.
Okay, miss, I would say miss that the 20% off on the $50 off is like basically the same things. Because this 50% $50 off is out of the $400 in this. You have buy the item or whatever you buy for $350.
Okay.
It's at the 20% off, basically $50 off. Basically.
Really? Let me see. Let us just humor him. What is 20%?
Of the 400.
Yeah, man, that we want to find out.
this is 40.
It's what?
40.
You sure? We can work it out together. 100 into 100 goes. 100 into 400 goes. 4 times, right? 4 times 20 is what? Oh. So 20% is not the same as $50. So those are things that will happen in the exam. You make these wrong assumptions. So we can't compare that unless we know it. 20% is 1/5 of $400. Because you can simplify this. 1 out of 20 is 1, 20 out of 20 is 1, and 20 out of 100 is 5. 1/5. Right? So we don't compare unless we're actually sure. But we can compare the fractions because they're both unit fractions. A quarter and a third are unit fractions. The denominator tells us something. This whole is cut up into how many parts?
4.
This whole is cut up into? If I have a sum of money and I share it between 4 people versus 3 people, which one of them, the persons will get more? The one we share?
3.
Yes, because you're sharing with less persons. So this fraction is larger than a quarter. So we can take out the quarter. Because right away, I know that a third is more than a quarter. And you're trying to figure out which is the best discount. It says which discount voucher gives the cheapest price. So which one takes off most money. Okay? We use most because it's not 2. Once it's over 2, it becomes most. All right. So we know that 20% is a good amount of money to come off, don't it? $80. $80 is more than $50. So we can take out the $50 too. So we have the 20%. We need to figure out what 1/3 is. Right? Because the quarter is what? The quarter is less than 1/3. So let us figure out what 1/3 is.
1/3 is half of the half.
Let's look at it. 1/3 means that 1 out of 3 parts. That means I'm going to figure out how much is 1 part. I need to figure out how to divide 400 into 3 equal parts. So let's do that. 3 into 4 goes 1 time. And what is left? 1. 3 into 10,
3
leave. 3 into 10, and I can continue. It's going to be what kind of decimal? A recurring decimal. Because I'm going to always have that 1 carrying over. So $133.33 is 1/3 of 400. So isn't 1, so let's write this here, $133.33. This is greater than 80. So that means 1/3 is bigger than 20%, because remember the fraction that represents 20% is what? 20% is 1/5. And if you look at it, it's cut up into 5 parts, cut up into 4 parts. 1/3 still beat both of them. So we're still there. And 1/3, the value here is greater than 20%. So if you're unsure, you can compare the fractions, you can compare percentages, you can compare actual values, but it is not wise to assume that the 20% and the quarter, unless you know that 20% is the same as 1/5. Because if I should have realized that 20% is out already, because we took out the quarter, and 20% is 1/5, which is less than the quarter. So the only option we had was the $50 off or the 1/3. Okay? And if you reason it out, if you have 400 and you divide it into 3, clearly you're going to get more than $100, don't it? So you could figure that one out. So the correct option would be D. D would give you the best price because the discount would be the largest to take out of the 400. So the scenarios that are presented in the City and Guilds paper, they are linked to real life experience, and you need to pay attention that the skills that you are using to complete your exam are life skills that you can use when you go to purchase things. When you are doing a deal with someone, you should know how to bargain. What percentage you want? You want me to give you $50 off, or you want me to give you 1/3 off? You think $50 is a big deal? It depends on the total that you're working with. Okay? And sometimes persons who are in advertising play with those things. I'll give you this % off or whatever. It's not really a lot. It's not much. It's not much. So we're here now. Excuse me. 32. A map with a scale of 1 to 75,000. The distance between two places is 10 centimeters. What is the actual distance in kilometers? So first we need to establish, what is this scale telling us? All right, you are going to learn to answer questions as it is asked. Oh, you're reading it? Okay, good, because I was just going to fight you. All right, but no fighting today. The scale says 1 to 75,000. The scale is telling us something. Do you see any unit there? No. So when the scale has no unit, it means that whatever unit this is also the same unit. What is the unit that they have referred to? Okay, they refer to km, and what is the other unit they refer to? Because we can't put kilogram on a map, right? That is a massive map. So the map will have centimeters. So it's saying for every 1 centimeter you measure on the map, it actually measures 75,000 centimeters in real life. That's what this scale means. So let us now look at what you're going to do to solve this question. All right? So if 1 centimeter represents 75,000, how am I going to figure out what's 10 centimeter? All right, make me ask a different question. You're buying a book for $10. You want to buy 10 books. How are you going to figure out how much the 10 books will cost? Okay, so 1 centimeter equal this. 10 centimeter going equal? There you go. So let's do that. And we all know by now that when we multiply by powers of 10, it is understood. It happens all the time. All you need to do is to add a 0. There you go. Somebody call this number 750,000. Good. So 10 centimeters on the map will represent this in actual measurement. Now, is there any answer in centimeter? No. All right, so some information is needed here. So we need to know some things. We need to know that 10 millimeters equal You never really need to know that, but I'm just jogging your memory. 10 millimeters is 1 centimeter. How many centimeters make a meter? 100. How many meters make a kilometer? These are important information. If you don't know these information, you are going to have difficulty accessing the question. So you need to know that centimeter has a relationship with meter and meter has a relationship with kilometers. Because we need to convert centimeters to what? Good. So let us do that now. So if every time I have 1 meter, it gives me 100 centimeters. If I have 1,000 meters, how do I convert that to centimeters?
Times it by 1,000.
Let's go again. What are we timesing by 1,000?
750.
All right. Let us look. Let us go again. Every time I have 1 meter, see there? How much centimeter I get? So if I have 1,000 meters, what must I multiply it by? 100, because every one of those 1,000 meter represents 100 centimeter. Good. So I can say 100 multiplied by 1,000, so this is my centimeter, meter, gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's correct? Gives me what? 100,000 centimeters. So for every 1,000 meter, it gives me 100,000 centimeter. That means 100,000 centimeters is equivalent to. Now that I know that, I can divide by 100,000. Because every 100,000 I get out of this, it will give me 1 meter. How many 100,000 can I get from this? 7, and 50,000 is what in relation to? It's half. So 7.5. Okay. So our correct option is B. So we have looked at this. So this is a scale question, scale drawing. And we are going to take a short break. Welcome back. We are now at question 33 and we're getting right into it. So question 33 says a manager shares a bonus payment between supervisor A and trainee B in the ratio 3:2. The bonus payment is $270. How much money does trainee B receive? So the first thing I want to ask you, what part of the ratio does the trainee receive?
Smaller share.
The smaller share, and that makes sense, don't it? Supervisor versus trainee. And what digit, what number represents the portion that the trainee receives? 2. So we have a ratio of 3:2. So let's write the ratio first. And how much money are we sharing? $270. Tell me what we're going to do here.
Yes, we're going to add the 3 and the 5.
All right. So the ratio is 3 to 2. That means someone's getting 3 parts of it, someone getting 2 parts. So the total would be 5 parts to be shared, right? So we have 5 parts being shared. All right. What they asked us to find? The trainee. The trainee is the 2 parts. All right. What else can we do?
Yes, we can divide
5 parts from the 260.
5 into. Right. So we want to figure out how many parts, what's the value of 1 part. So 5 into 27 will give us the value of 1 part. 5 into 2, not possible. 5 divided by 27. And that is 25, so leaves 2. 5 into 20. So each part values $54. So 2 parts would value what?
It's 108.
Excellent. So we would add the 54 to 54, which would give us 108. So the trainee would get $108. So the correct response there, sorry I went a little quickly, would be B. All right. So we're at question 34. A cook uses 2 eggs and 6 ounces of flour in a recipe. Express the ratio of eggs to flour in its simplest form. So what must come first?
Let's add the 2 and the 6. Let's add the 2 and the 6.
Listen to the question. What must come first? What is the ratio saying? Tell me the ratio that we're representing.
The ratio of eggs to flour.
Eggs to flour. How many eggs are we using? To how much what? To 6 ounces. So can this be simplified? 2 can be divided into 2, gives me? And 2 into 6? That's simple. There's no great working out here. You just need to know that if it says eggs to flour, the eggs proportion must come first. All right? So that would be option A. Everybody got that? All right, we're at question 35. So a hotel buys shampoo in 5-liter containers. They use this to fill small bottles that hold 50 milliliter. All right, so right away, if you never know, you know that liter is larger than milliliters. You know this. How many 50 milliliter bottles can be filled from one container?
100 milliliters, 1 liter.
That's what you need to know.
So that means beans. Beans. So answer.
Oh, you go already. You get yours already? All right, make us sit down now. So we have 1 liter milliliters. How much milliliters you think make a liter? 1,000. So that's the first thing we need to establish. So 1,000 milliliter equals 1 liter. All right? So we know that they buy it in 5-liter bottles. Right? 5 liters or 5-liter containers. Containers. I'm just going to put this. And they're putting it in 50 milliliter. When I work at different thing now, because I get 100, but I'm going to work with it. So, if I were to convert 5 liters to milliliter, how much I would get? Huh? Let me look on the board quick. Yeah, ask me what I just said, for true. If I have 5 liters and I want to figure out how much milliliter does 5 liter give me, I know that 1,000 milliliter is equal to 1 liter. Good. So 5 liters is equivalent to Good.
So you can divide by 50.
Yeah, look at that. That's it. So I can do it two ways. I can just put down my 5,000 and drop my 50 underneath it. Right? 50 into this goes one time, 50 into this one time. So the answer, remainder who? Oh, is that a remainder? Don't use that term. It goes into it 100 times. Is that no remainder? 50 goes into 50 one time, 50 goes into 0, 0 time, 50 goes into 0, 0 time. So it gives us the 100. All right? So the 100 is correct. But I don't know how you buck up on it. Right? But let us move on. So the correct answer is B. All right. So there are some key points that we need to make sure that we know. What is the value of the liter and the milliliter? All of that. So let us look at question 36. We have a housekeeper has 10 kilograms of birdseed. He uses this to fill 300 gram packs. Yes. How many of these packs can he make? What is the key information that we need to know now?
Yes, how much?
Grams.
Equals to
Good. I like how you're getting it. 1,000 equal. Good. How many kgs we're starting with? Look good. 10 kg, which is equivalent to, those three lines mean equivalent. So 10 times gives us, good. So 10,000 grams is equivalent to 10 kilograms. So what am I asking now? How many 300 grams we can get out of this? Let me say 30,000 grams. Oh! You use some terms there where we're going to work on. You hear? We are going to divide the 10,000 by, good, that's what we want to say. We don't know how you get out of and all sorts of things that happen, but you're going to divide it by. All right? So let us look. We can simplify. 100 can go into this. Excellent. And 100 goes into this.
0. Oh, 1.
What a number here?
Yeah,
What a number here we left?
100.
So 100 going to this. How many times? May I put it back? See it there. 10,000. 100 goes into it. What left? Good. So yeah, that's 100 we divided by. And we left on the see. Because I could have done this, you know. I could have done 300 divided by 100. Gives me 3. So if I take out the 20, it means that I've taken out the 100 and what is left is what is the answer. So now I have, they're not divisible easily, so what we're going to do? So we can do this if you want, or you could have divided just the same. 3 into 1 can, 3 into 10. 3 into 10. 3 into 10. 3 into 10. So you see the trend. So what is the best option there for us? B. Why not 333? Because it's not 300, it's 33.3. Good. So the best option would be 33, which is B. We're at 37. The time in London, UK, is 5 hours ahead of New York, USA. What time is it in London when it's 11 p.m. in New York on Sunday? Let's see. So 11 p.m. Where 11 p.m. fall? What time of day is that? In the afternoon, in the morning, in the night? It's near to midnight. So we have 11 p.m. So we're almost at which day? There you go. So we're almost at Monday. So 1 hour would take us where? 12. So we're at 12, and then, so that's a.m., then 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and this is Sunday, and then this would be, well, not until 12:01, but you get it. So we are at 4 a.m. Monday. All right? And that would be C. We're at question 38. This table shows the equivalent clothes size in 7 countries. How many countries?
7.
All right, what are the countries? USA, UK, Japan, Spain, Germany, Italy, Australia. Question is, what is equivalent in UK of a size which is 44 in Italy? What do we need to locate first on the chart? We need to locate the size in Italy. And we run to the 44. Then what do? We move until we buck up UK. And the size is? That's it. This is interpreting information from a graph. Easy. All right then. So you see, well, if it's shoe size, it's shoe size. It's clothes size, it's not foot. It says clothes size. So yes, it's 12B. All right, so here's another graph. This table, or another table I should say. This table shows the different accounts bank offer to savers. So we have saving 1, 2, 3, my savings, saver plus, high interest, bonus saver, high saver. So we have a whole lot of things we can choose from. What is the question asking of? Asking. A saver has $12,000 to put into one account and needs to access the money in 6 months' time. She wants her money to earn as much as possible. Which is the best account for her? So let us look at some other information over there. What is the saving rate? 1%, 1%, 1.5, 1.5. What is the highest saving rate? 2.5. Good. So let us continue to look. Minimum deposit for saving 1, 2, 3 is $1. And you can see the amount goes up. So the high saver, the minimum is $10,000. The person can meet that one there. Look how much them want to have to put in a bank. So them have more than it. Yeah, so them can go there. But let's look at the rest of it. Deposit, maximum deposit, them can't deposit more than 100,000. That's what maximum means. That's their limit. That's their high limit. All right. So they had a minimum deposit of 10,000. They have a maximum deposit of 100,000. Minimum period for accessing the money. The first one says there's no minimum period. You can access, if you put it in today, you can take it out tomorrow. Good. If you put it in the My savings, say 1 year. So that means if you put it in and you want to get the benefit, you have to stay in there for 1 whole year. The next one says none. So the Saver Plus, put it in today, all later you can go for your money. This one, high interest, says 1 year. Bonus Saver says 6 months. 6 months. And she wants to get the most interest. The other one that has a very high interest, 2.5, how long? 2 years. She don't really wonder. So which is her best option? There you go. Bonus Saver. Because she can access 2%. She definitely, but look at that. Look at something though. What is the problem there? What is the maximum? No, what is the maximum deposit? And how much you want to put in? Kind of sticky. So she can't use the bonus saver. Which one can she access more? Can she put in more money and still access? It look like a saving 1, 2, 3. Because the My Saving has a maximum of $20,000, but is 1 year. And then the other one that says, so let's look at what, she has $12,000 to save. This has a minimum of 10, so that can't work. This has a minimum of 10, can't work. A maximum, I should say, maximum 10, maximum 10. So she can access 1, 2, 3, 4. However, the 2 year not gonna work for you.
What's the 1 year?
1 year not gonna work. So it looks like savings 1, 2, 3, which is A. Oops, I put A on the screen already. Oh, I never see it. I did not see it. So A is the correct answer. I did not see it. It was always there? I'm gonna have me here work it out when I like that. All right, good. All right, good. But you see why she ended up with A. Because all those variables did not make it possible. So we are at now question 40. I want you to read the question, pay attention to all the details. We are going for a short break, and then we'll come back. Just a short break. Welcome back. We are ready for question 40. The picture shows the dial of a speedometer. Where you find the speedometer? Oh, it says it in a racing car. So right, so it tells you how fast you're going. Now, there's a little thing that you need to pay attention to the speedometer about. What I hope you pick it up. What is the reading shown on the dial? So let us examine it a little. Right? Can you see something little different in it, don't it? So from 0 to 10. You can see the 10, right? So you say 5, 10, 50, 20, 25. No, sir. Oh, no, look right. So 0, 5, 10. Then you go 50, then you go 20. What happened here? Then you go 30, 40, 50. So it starts at 5 and then it go to 10. You see that? All right, so when you reach 100 here, 110, 120. What happened? Then it goes 130, 140. What happened here, sir? 150, 160, 170, 180. Then it go 210. What is that?
This is one by 2
I can go by 15.
When you have 180, sir, you're at 180. And you reach 210. How much you got by? You better think before you answer. Okay, 30.
Basically, there's 2 strokes in between this.
Okay. But did they do this? They repeat it right there too. You don't see it repeated in the next one. So you're at 210 and you go to 240. So the 30 is seen from here to here. You see the 30 here and you see the 30 here as well. So you have to pay attention. So if there's 2 strokes between the 30, so that means from 180 to 210 is 30 things. Divide it up and tell me how much you get. 190. Right, so that 30 has to be divided into 2. So right here it becomes 195 and then what? Because it's right between it. Alright, so if it's 30 there, so what half of that? So it's 90 plus 10. Yes. So this, if this is 10, 190, 200, 210. Each of the stroke will value 10. And then between the 10 would be 5. So the 15. Either way you get it. Good job. So, your correct response is 195 kilometers per hour. That's how fast the car is going. All right? So key things to pay attention to. Don't just assume that the calibration that you observe on this side stands. Look at the entire dial. Look at what you're reading and ensure that the calibration stands throughout it. Okay? All right, good. Next question. So as you can see, this part of your paper has to do with looking at statistics, looking at information and looking at data and taking information from it, or reading dials and so forth. It's very fine, but I'll read it for you. This pie chart shows the satisfaction rating given by 300 guests at a hotel. Let us look at what it says. You have excellent, good, average, poor, and very poor. Nobody wants that. But you have some very poor, don't you? How many guests said the hotel is good? Which one of those things represent good? This one?
Yes.
All right. I want you to pay attention to it. What is so? Why do you think they can answer this question without anything else given? One person. Yes, go ahead. All right, you have the key. So the key tells you what portion of the data represents good. What else?
It shows the amount of guests. So there's 300 guests.
300 guests. Good. So how are you going to know how many represent that portion?
So the chart is split into 5 different sections.
Are they equal sections? So we can call them fifths? No, because fraction means if I call something a fifth, it has to be divided equally. So I can't. What is unique about that little section though? Look at it good.
It's nice to come here business.
All right, you can say that, but what else? Look at it. It having a shape, wanna know?
Yes.
What shape is that?
This one,
A
our
quarter.
There you go. It represents a quarter. And because it represents a quarter, you are able to use that information, right? So what is a quarter of 300?
75.
You could, I don't know. Could be. Could be, I don't know. What's a half of a 300?
It's 150.
It's half of 150. 75.
So quarter of, no sir, quarter of 300 is 75. So the number of persons who gave the hotel a good report good rating would have been quarter. So a quarter of 300 is 75. All right, so option B is the correct one here. So you see, I have to pay attention to the shape. You have to know what a quarter looks like, what a half looks like. Yes, well, yes, you can, but it's kind of difficult with the third. They more or less will give you like a quarter, or if they give you the third, they probably want to give you all those different parts, okay? So we're here at another question 42. This chart shows company sales in 3 different regions. We have region North America, Europe, Asia. When was the steepest drop in sales?
Sales, January, February.
You see what that word should be. It should be examine the periods given. So we have, let us look at it now. January to February. Where's January? Which line is that? Which line represents January to February, Europe? The dotted line. All right. January, we're at 20,000. How much you reach? This is 10. All right, so we can start here. 0, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each bar goes up by 1,000. So if we're at 20, let's see how many bars we would have gone down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are 8 bars lower than 20. So that is what? 12. So it would have gone on 8 bars. Let us look at how many bars each of the other section went down. February to March, and that is North America. February to March. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So that's less than that. Then you have March to April, Asia. March to April, Asia. 1, 2, 3. So that's not it. June to July. June to July, Asia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 is 7. I'm counting the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's actually 6. 6 spaces down. So you have to pay attention to the data, and then you select the one that has the steepest move. So the most fall. The distance. You can always work out the money as well, but you can just count how many bars would have gone down. Okay? So this one would have been, so you want to compare the values that they drop. We did that. January to February Europe covers 8 bars, and that would have given us the correct response. All right? So we move to question 43. The table shows the maximum temperature each day for a week. Temperature is in Fahrenheit. 87, 88, 90, 86, 88, 89, 88. So for the week, these were the temperatures. What is the range of these temperatures? How do we find the range of any set of data? Nope. The range is found by identifying the highest and the lowest. What's the highest data? 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And the smallest would be 86. So once you identify the highest and the lowest, you subtract, and it gives you the range. What is the answer? 4 degrees Fahrenheit. All right? So no need to spend any long time on that. All right, so we're at question 45. The table shows the price of the gift in 5 different shops. Okay. What is the mode of these prices? Let's just look at the prices. 20, 14, 16, 14, 11. So there are some key things that we need to remember. We have some terms in statistics. We just did the range. Anybody can remember any other term? You have the mean, the mode, and the median. All right, so if you need to know these in order to access these type of questions. The range we just did, highest, subtract the smallest, the lowest value. Mean is pretty much, we use it loosely, but it's the average. If we were to take all the data set, add them up and divide them evenly, it gives us the mean. The mode is the most frequent. The most frequent, the one that appears most. The median is the middle value when you arrange it in order. All right? So which of them is the mode?
C is 14.
Let's see. Yes, 14 appears twice, while all the others appeared once. So correct. C is the mode. And you would have seen that there. 46. There are 10 sweets in a bag. 4 are orange flavor. 6 are lemon flavor. What is the probability? So we have, how many sweets we have? We have 10 sweets. How many are orange? 4 out of the? And how many are lemon? 6 out of the 10. 6 tenths. So what is the probability that the first sweet taken out of the bag at random will be orange flavor? It's 4 tenths, right? Do you see 4 tenths over there? What are you required to do then? You're required to do what? Look at it. Is it in its simplest form? So let's do that. 2 into 4 goes? 2. 2 into 10 goes? So 4 tenths can also be expressed as 2 fifths. So 2 fifths is what we're looking for. All right? So B is the correct response. So not everything requires you to do no help or working. It just requires you to reason and make sure you're answering correctly. All right? 47. We're more than halfway along the exam, you know. We're almost to the end. Use this formula to find speed when the distance, which is denoted by a D, is 120 kilometers. And the time it takes is 3 hours. They went as far as to give you how to calculate speed. Speed is equal to distance divided by? All right. So we are finding speed. Did they give us the distance? Huh?
Yes,
Okay, 120. Did they give us the time? Me not think nobody forget this wrong. So 3 into 120, 3 into 3, 1 times 3 into 12 goes 3 into 0, that. So it is 40 kilometers per hour. All right. And that would be option B. We are now at 48. Solve. Easy, easy question, man. Come on, people. So we have 3y plus 3 equals 36. Once you look at an equation, whatever is on your right side is equivalent or equal to, let's just turn equal to what is on your left side. So you have 3 multiplied by some value, then you add 3 to it, and you get 36. Let us undo all of this and get the y by itself. So what's the opposite of adding something? So we had plus 3. Do the opposite of it. And you have to do it to both sides. All right? Because we just want y by itself. So this and this gives us a 0 pair. The positive value and the negative value will always give us 0. All right? Of the same value. So we end up with 3y equal 36 subtract 3 is?
33.
Good. We still have something onto the y. The y has been multiplied by 3. What's the opposite of multiplication? So we're going to divide through by 3. So we have 3y divided by 3. We must do it to both sides to keep the equation balanced. 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 3, 1. So we have y left. Y is left. 3 into 3, 1, 3 into this. So y is equal to? There you go. Let's check it. 3 times 11 gives us? 33 plus 3 gives us? So this side equals 36 and this side equal 36. It's balanced. That's it. So y is equal to 11. And the correct option is C. And here we are again. We're at 48. We're almost there. And it's time for a break. Welcome back, and we are now at question 49. We go straight into the question. All right, we are still doing some amount of algebra, and we have 12x minus 6 equal 42. From our previous question, you should know that we are doing a balancing of both sides. That's 1. And we want to find x, so we want to undo everything that was done to x, starting with the last thing that was done. So let's look at it. 12x, so x was multiplied by 12 first, then 6 was subtracted. So what's the last thing that was done? They subtracted 6. We're going to undo subtraction. What is the opposite of subtraction? So we're going to add 6. Wherever we see a negative and a positive pairs, it gives us 0. We must do it to the other side of the equation. So we now end up with 12x is equal to 42 plus 6 is?
48.
Excellent. We're going to undo 12 multiplied by x. What is the opposite of division of multiplication?
Division.
And we must do it to both sides. 12 into 12? All right, so we have x by itself, and 48 divided by 12 is?
4.
So x, the value of x that satisfies this equation is 4. 4 times 12 is?
48.
48, subtract 6? 42. There you go. So the correct answer for this one is C. All right, so here we are at 50. Awesome. It's been a long day, but we're getting there, aren't we? All right, we're at 50. A company has a daily charge to hire a machine plus delivery charge of $15. Use P for the price each day and D for the number of days. Which is the correct formula to find the total cost of C? Make a reason this out now. I forgot actually that question. I can't remember. I'm not sure what I just read. So a company has a daily charge to hire a machine. So they give those some machine to hire. They have certain, so they have a delivery charge plus a delivery charge of $15. So the delivery charge is what? Constant. It's always $15 to deliver. All right. So we're using P for the price each day, and we're using D for the number of days. So we're sure that C comes first. So the cost will include the delivery charge. So we know them have the delivery charge. And what else they have there? The charge for the day. So P represents the charge for the day, right? So P. And then what is D?
Number of days.
The number of days. So it is really their charge for the day, them have the plus 15, right? What else them need to have? The number of days. You divide it by the days? So all right, so hold on. If for 2 days, what it look like? Think about it. If for 1 day, this so it look, don't it? So, really and truly, where would I put the 1? That's the question. Which is a D? If this is the charge plus the delivery,
Miss after the business.
you could really put it here, right? Because this is not affected by the number of days, because this is just one time. You know, I deliver it every day. You deliver this one time. So what if it's 2 days? It would be 2 times whatever P is, don't it? So where would the D go then, the number of days? Because the charge is dependent upon how many days. So it is the number of days times the charge plus the constant 15, which is a one-time charge. So what is the option there? A. D don't make no sense. Because I said the 15, they're going to time the 15 every day. All right? So your option is A. So that is C is equal to number of days times the charge plus the one-time delivery. All right? Good. We got that? Sure. We don't need to do it again. All right. Good. Thank God. All right. So we're at question 51. The graph shows the relationship between x and y. What is the relationship that we're seeing between x and y? So, x, y. Mega help on along. So we have, and we match the value. So make we look. So we have x, and we have y. When x is 1, y is?
2.
When x is 2, y is? Make we look again.
4.
All right. When x is 3, y is? All right. Do you see a pattern? All right, what's happening? So, y is twice as much as?
X.
All the time.
So y equal to x.
There you go. So y, the value of y is twice the value of x. That's it. That was easy, don't it? Hmm?
Yes, miss.
All right. So we move to the next one. Question 52. What does it say? It says this graph shows the maximum temperature in England. Maximum temperature in England is the title. What else is needed for the reader to understand this chart? Let's see what's on it. So we have temperature. We have the months of the year. Is there anything missing? The scale. We don't know what kind of temperature in there. So a scale on the vertical axis is missing. This is horizontal, this is vertical. Awesome job. So the correct response here would be D. A scale on the vertical axis. Nothing to write, nothing to calculate. Just look and understand. Number 53. Which of these statements are true? So here we go again, testing your knowledge. It says, so it gave us some information. There, you know, don't know if they're all true, but let's look. X is a set of polygon. What is saying? Not X set of, sorry. X means a pentagon is a polygon. Y means a trapezium is a quadrilateral. And a rhombus is a parallelogram. So, we need to know something. What is a polygon? What's a polygon? That's the problem. So a polygon is a figure, a plane figure with straight sides. This is your smallest polygon. Least sides, a triangle, so it has 3. So this is also a polygon. Is this a polygon? Because it doesn't have straight sides. No. Good. So a plane shape with straight sides, polygon. Trapezium. Who knows what a trapezium is? It is a quadrilateral, because a quadrilateral means that you have quad. If you have quadruplets, how many kids you have? 4. Good. So a quadrilateral is a figure with?
4.
Excellent. You integrate knowledge, man. Quad means 4. When them say live in a quad over Portmore, are really 4 wall them I give. 4 wall. Quad. Okay, good. So a quadrilateral has 4 sides. And it is, and then they say Z, a rhombus is a parallelogram. Who knows what a rhombus looks like? See if I can draw it. A rhombus looks like a square that's been pushed out of shape. It's like square, you just kind of squeeze a square up. So that's a rhombus. Parallelogram. Yeah, it's like a kite, not quite, but yeah, if you look on it that way, you're one of them that way. All right, well, it does look like a kite if you look that way. Yes, but what the parallelogram? What does parallelogram mean? What does parallel means?
It's on side are parallel to one another.
Yes, to have pairs of parallel sides. So parallel sides, no matter how you stretch it, no matter how you extend it, they will never touch. So it has pairs of parallel sides. So this is true because a pentagon has 5 straight sides. A trapezium is a quadrilateral, and a rhombus is a parallelogram. So the option D. So we asked those questions and we answered them already. All right, so we move on to question 54. 54 says, an aircraft leaves the airport traveling east. So this was not on the question paper. I infused it on it, so I just want you to know. Like about a few sets, it'll be so easy. Okay? So they're asking you which is east. So you need to know your polar signs, you're right. So everybody should know north, south, and then you say we. We. And you don't spell we, E-W. You spell we, W-E. So when you draw it up, you say we. North, south. You can't go wrong. Good. Huh? What you said? So these are your coordinates. Good. So if the plane travels east, you always move from your north line. You don't travel east from over west. You're always the here, so. So which of these degree would best give you an eastward movement? Well, all right, before you answer, let us look at this. What does this look like? What shape? Oh, it's a compass. What shape does it look like? Good. How many degrees is in a circle? Yes. How many degrees? 360 degrees. Awesome. So if you have 360, if you go one way, if you half of the circle would give you how much degrees? 180. Quarter of the circle will give us? Excellent. Now we're going to use the knowledge that we have. So, let us look. What is the E if we're traveling from here? What degree would the E be on? It's that simple. It's quarter of it. 90. Why 45 couldn't work? Because 45 is what? If it's right, there you go. 45 is northeast. And they said the plane traveled east. So east would be 90. If you pass 90, you go what? Southeast. All right. All right. So we have the correct answer would be 90. Awesome. 55. A regular polygon has interior angles measuring 60 degrees. What shape is the polygon? Oh, you get that? And you have to give me some more. What knowledge do you know? Let's look. A regular polygon has interior angles measuring 60 because you have to rule out how to get it. What angles exist in a square? Once you see the squares, it indicates 90 degrees, right angles. So you take out the square. What about the triangle though? You are familiar with triangles. What is the total angle in a triangle? Excellent. So let's divide 3 into 180. Oh, so it can happen. So this can exist. It can exist. Now let's look at the pentagon. I probably won't draw it too well, but a pentagon has 1, 2, 3. You see, I'm going to draw a hexagon, because I'm going to end up with 6 sides. But a pentagon has, let me see, a pentagon is like a roof. You know, like when you look at a house top, slightly. I find that? Yeah, see, it's like a roof. And if you look at the angles that exist, you know, it's kind of wide-ish for some of them. It's not a very good pentagon, so let's not have this too much on the board. But you get the idea. All right. So it says, where am I? Okay. So the correct response would be your triangle. And you always start from what you know. Your square, you know your squares have 90 degrees angle. You rule out your square. You go to your triangle because it's familiar, but you have to also familiarize yourself with hexagon and pentagon. All right? All right. So we are now at number 57. We have 4 questions to go. And guess what? I know you will need to use the bathroom and come back before we tie up everything. So we take a short break. wrapping up the session. So we are at question 56. We're almost there, guys. All right, so the question says, it gave us some information. This is a right angle triangle. It told us that. What is the length of the side x?
It's
14, you got it already? You never bother, we try? All right. First thing we want to figure out, what concept is going to be useful here? So that's not the first thing. What are we going to use to determine the missing side? Pythagoras theorem. What does Pythagoras say? Pythagoras says the square of the longest side is equal to the sum of the other two sides. Doesn't really matter what you call A and B right now, right? But as long as you realize that C represents the hypotenuse, which is the longest side. All right? So we can now substitute some values in here. So we are going to call, well, clearly C is x. So x squared is equal to 6 squared plus 8 squared. What is 6 multiplied by 6? 36. What is 8 multiplied by 8? 64. Awesome. And I tell you already, if you're not sure, good. No, it's not only for you guys. If you're not sure and you see this and you're baffling, all you do is break this down. So 8 times 5. 8 times 5. 8 threes.
24.
What is 24 plus 40?
64.
And I'm saying this to you because I don't want you to think that because you don't know something, it makes you less and it makes you can't access the question. You can decompose a number, you can break it down and figure it out. You should not stop here because you don't know what 8 times 8 is. You should go and figure it out, okay? Good, and it don't have to be 8 times 8, it can be another number. But I want you to know that you can decompose your number and come up with the answer. So 36 plus 64 gives us. So we still take this down just as is because we've done nothing to it. So x squared gives us this. Is it x squared we want to find out? We want to find x. How do I get rid of a square? What's the opposite of finding the square of a number? Finding the square root. The square root is the opposite of squaring the number. So that means, just like how you see opposite of division is multiplication, if you find the square and then you find the square root, you end up back with x. All right? So if we do that to one side, so we're undoing the square by finding the square root, so we also have to find the square root of 100. And City and Guilds is awesome. They give you things that you know. Square root of 100 is? There you go. Because they know you don't have a calculator. So they're not going to give you a number that is far out there. All right? So the square root of 100 is 10. So the value of x is 10 centimeters. All right. And I did the working out. But we did it together, so even better. All right? So let's look at 57. What is 57 asking? It says, what is the perimeter of the shape? Is that a normal plane shape? We call it a compound shape, right? It's not a square, rectangle, triangle. It's a compound shape. So it has a little extra going on for it. Now, perimeter. Perimeter talks about the distance around the boundary of the shape, right? So we have to look at all the values that we need here. All right. So let us look. We can see this clearly. This is 10. So we can say P is equal to 10. What else? This is 8. What is this? Huh. How we find that?
Is that is 2.
Okay, how we know that?
It's because the bottom part is 10.
This is 10, which is the same distance here. This is 5. Take away, so leave 5. Take away 3 again. Leaves?
2.
Excellent. So we can add the 2. We add the 3. What about this?
That is 5.
How we know that?
Miss, because one side is 14, Miss.
Excellent.
We have to add back
The distance is 14, and 14 take away 8 is 5. So we have 2 5 there. So we add the 3, 2. No, we don't need to add the 3. We need to add the 5. We're going to go down here. Then we add the what? The 3. Then we add the, and then we add the next 5. And then this is
8, Miss.
They had to give us this information, but we don't need to add it. Because we needed it to find out the value for these. But it's the 8 that we need to find. All right, so this, I don't want to make any mistakes. So I'm going to kind of write this a little bit different so that I don't make any mistake. So I'm going to put all the like terms together. So me now, I am like this. So I have the 10 is 110. How many 8s I have? 2 8s, right? So I cross them off so I keep myself, you know? And then I say 5. I have 1 5 here, 1 5 here, 1 5 here. This is my technique to make sure that I'm adding everything. All right? And I'm going to go straight across into the screen. I'm going to add the 3 and then the 2. All right? Now, I'm not going to act like I can add straight across either. So 8 and 8 is what? So 10 plus 16, 5, 5, 5. That is 3 5 is 15 plus 5. Good. And I'm coming straight down. 10 and this is 26 plus. All right. And then I have 46. Is that right? What is missing? Tell me what's missing. Did we add everything? Let's check it. 10. We have the 8. We have the 2. So we have the 10. We have 1 8. 10, 8, 2. 2. Then 3. Then 5. We have 2 5 here, 1 5 there. Let's add it. 15. 8 and 8, 16. 1, 2, 3. So we have 15. 8 and 8, 16. 10. 3. Are we sure this is 2? 5 and that, 8, 9, 10. I'm cleaning off and starting all over. So we're doing the perimeter of the shape. 5, 8, 10, 16, plus the 10 gives me 26, 5, and this is 5. We're sure it's 5. It's not 5. Is it 5? It's not 5.
No, it's
Why
6.
many mistakes?
It's 6.
It's not 5. So this is? So let's try that again. So the perimeter is equal to, we're starting at 10. We have 8. We're going around, okay? This is 2. Then 6. Then 3. Then 6. 5. Then 8. How many 8s do we have? Plus 8. Plus 8. How many 5s? How many 6 do we have? 2 6. How many 5s? How many 3s? And do we have a 2? All right. Let us add. 8 plus 8 is? 6 plus 6 is? 5 plus 5. This is 10. So 10 and that is 26. And all right. So what did this teach us? Taught us that if we do the working out and one we don't see the correct answer, we start over. Don't waste time trying to pick out, because sometimes you waste more time that way. Ensure that you do the subtractions well as also. So 14 take away 8, we made a blunder there. We had put 5, which it wasn't, and it messed up the entire thing. Okay? So just ensure that you check and you make sure your subtraction or your addition is correct. All right? So the answer, the correct response is C, which is 48 centimeter. All right? Good. Let us go to the next question, 58. The diagram shows a circular flower bed. What is the area of the flower bed? The information gave you that you must use pi as 22 sevenths. All right, how do you find area of a circle? So if you don't know that, you can't access this question. Pi r squared. Pi r squared is what we use to find the area of a circle. Pi is given 22 sevenths. What is r? Is r given? R is the radius, which is once it comes from the center of the circle to any place on the circumference, that's the radius. And that would be 7 centimeters. 7 meters, sorry. It says square. So it is 7 times. Good. We always try to simplify because we are working without a calculator. So 7 to 7, 1 times 7 to 7 itself. 22 times 7. 1 squared meters. Squared meters. Because meter. Yes. Because you have 1 meter times that meters. All right. And that option is C. All right? And look at that. Where are we, guys? Where are we? We are one away from it. Oh, my. Well, let's work it anyway. All right, so here we are. The diagram shows a solid metal cylinder with diameter 4 centimeter and height 10 centimeter. What is the volume? And you can see here, do not use the pi value that they gave in the last question. They gave you a new value. 3.14 is the value they expect you to learn. So they're also assessing if you can multiply by a decimal. Okay? So how do you find the volume? The volume of a shape is the area of the base multiplied by its height. Okay? Whatever shape you're looking at, the volume is the area of the base. What kind of base is that? What kind of shape is the base? Good. So how do you find the area of a circle again? Pi r squared, and you multiply it by the height for this one. So what is pi? 3.14. What is r? It says with a diameter of 4 centimeters, the diameter is twice the size of the radius. So 2 radii makes 1 diameter. So if the diameter is 4, what is the radius? Let's go again. The diameter, this is the diameter. This is the radius. Which is bigger? Oh, let me write the words, because sometimes. So the diameter is twice as long as the radius. 2 radii come together to give you 1 diameter. So if the diameter is 4, what is this? This is 4. This is? Good. It's half of whatever the diameter is. So pi is? What is pi according to that? How much centimeters pi is? Sorry, not pi. What is a radius? Good. It's me asking the wrong question. 2 centimeter, and we are squaring it, right? Correct? And what is the height?
10
Good. So they gave us all the measurement. So they just want to see if you can multiply. All right? All right, so let us open up these things. 3.14 multiplied by squaring that. So 2 centimeter times 2 centimeter times 10 centimeter. So we have 2 times 2 is what? And this times this. So 3.14 times 4 squared centimeter times 10. And I'm working down times 40 cubic centimeter. You have 2 here and you have 1 there. So volume is in cubic units. All right? Now I'm going to estimate this. 4 times 3 is what? 4 threes is 12. So 251 out for me. 40 out too. So we just need to figure out if it's BRC. I have to work it out. Come and I'll guess it. Right? So 3 times, so I'm going to write down my 40 multiplied by 3.14. 400, 4 fours. Huh? Oh, I left out the 1. 400, 4 fours. That looks right? So, oh, here. 0. 12,000. 12. 1200. 0, 6, 4 and 2. 6, 6 and 1.
7.
How many decimal places?
1, 2, 2.
What we did wrong? Calculation wrong. Oh,
You did?
I did. 12,000 is correct. Let's run that again. 0, 6, 5, 2, 1. How many decimal places? You got 3.
2, sorry.
So the answer is 125.6. As you can see, I'm really tired of. I'm really looking forward to the end of this paper.
This is the very last.
This is the very last paper. All right. So there we go. It says cube A, cube B. The sides of cube B are double the length of cube A. The volume of cube B is,
It's 4 times the value of A.
it's me.
4 times. Is it 10 double this?
Okay.
You should have been 2.
Should I be 2?
Let us theorize it. Let us see. What do we know about a cube? What do you know about a cube? A cube has what?
8 sides.
All right, what else? All the sides are
Equal.
the same, so all the lengths are
Equal.
good. So let's say this side is 2. Now one got 2 too, and now the other one got 2. How do you find the volume of a shape? Area of the base times the height. What is the area of this square? 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 times 2 is? So the volume will be 8 that. Right? Make we test the theory with them say if it is. So now we're going to double it. So each side is what? So this is 2, so doubled, right? So what is double 2?
4.
All right, 4. So to find the volume over here, we're going to have 4 times 4 times. What is 4 times 4? 16. 16 times 4.
64
Yeah, I think that's 64 if it's true, but you're correct. So 6, 6, 6 fours. 6 fours.
Turns.
4, 1. Plus 2.
6.
So 64. All right, so this is 64 cubic centimeters. What is the relationship here? Is this 4 times it? Is it twice? Is it 2 times? 8 into 64 goes how many times?
4 times.
So is 64 4 times it?
Yes, miss.
Ah! So the answer is, as you said, B. Now hold on, man. 8 is what? Yes, man. 8. So, you get 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32, don't it? So when you say 4 times something, it equals 32. So how do you get the relation here? Is 64 divided by 8 into 64 goes? So the correct response is 8 times.
Sure, it's a 60.
You sure? As in?
You're really sure.
Well, we did it. We actually tested the theory. If the sides are 2 and you doubled it, you get 4. You worked out the volume. The volume is 8, and the volume is 64. There's an actual relationship. If you even want to use 3, use 3. Double 3, what you get? 6, right? Let's do the volume here. 3 times 3 is what? 9 times 3 is what?
27.
Good. Let's do it with 6. 6 times 6 is what? 36 times 6. 6 3s 18, 19, 20, 21. Eh? Where you get? That right? Okay. So that. Let's see how much time that go into that. Let's divide it by 8 and see what we get. If it stands, 116 divided by 8. 8 into that, 8 into 21 goes? 8 into this. What is left? 8 twos is what? 6. 8 into 56. Maybe I'll just tell you. So the relationship exists. 8 and 64. 64 is 8 times 8. 27 is in relation to 216. When you multiply 27 by 8, you get 216. If you divide 216 by 8, you get 27. So the response is C. The correct answer is C. And we want to say thank you. We've completed 60 questions. All of the questions on the paper. Just remember, your exam is on June 3rd at 1 p.m. You have 60 questions to do, and you have 2 hours to complete the 60 questions. Please manage your time well and do awesome. We thank you so very much, students in the audience, for coming out and making this session awesome. We look forward to seeing all merits or distinctions from you as you sit your exam. Have a great one.